Today I'm going to be making a tree hut inspired body scrub. I've wanted to try one of these silica gel based scrubs for a while now, and I've been inspired to make this post and do it now because of Tara Lee. You'll have seen me mention her on my channel before. I've done a review of her skincare products that she used to sell, and last year we actually collaborated on a foaming oil body wash. So I'll link those videos at the end of the video and below so that you can watch those. She's not very well at the time of making this video, so I'm making it as a little tribute shout out to her. I hope she feels better soon, and please go and check out her channel to help support her at the moment, as she's given so much to this community. And she's one of the most genuine, generous and kind people I've met on YouTube, so thanks Tara. This formula is based on her tree hut dupes that she did over on her channel, but I've changed up a few ingredients to make them UK friendly and also a little bit different. I'll link her video below as well so that you can make that one as well. The idea here is not to copy Tree Hut's Desert Haze scrub like I have in the thumbnail, but to make a simple anhydrous version that's a nice base for creating your own version easily. I've used it for inspiration purely for the colour really. So I am using jojoba oil in this formulation. You can use any oil you like really, it depends what benefits you want from your scrub. I like jojoba oil because it's full of antioxidants and it's said to help with a variety of skin conditions, and it's also very moisturising as most oils are, but it's also reasonably lightweight and easily absorbed. Then I'm using apricot kernel oil, which is lightweight and it helps to soften and smooth the skin, and it's also very non-greasy and great at moisturising. Then what we need to do is gel our oils, and to do this we use silica dimethyl silyate. And this is a silica gelling agent that gels oils. It's conditioning and it will help to hydrate the skin without drying it out. It also acts as a suspending agent, so it can be used in scrubs to suspend larger exfoliants if you want. It's so lightweight that please wear a respirator and make sure you clean up after you have added it to your formulation. And you will be adding it for a while. Because of it being so lightweight, you need to use quite a lot in volume to get that weight, so I sped that up slightly. Mixing it in is also a little bit of a job, so I will also speed this up and cut to the end a little bit, but just keep mixing, it will blend in. You will find it's a bit clumpy at this point, but we are going to heat this phase, which will help with that later, so just get that all incorporated for now. And then once you've stirred all that in, we're going to add a bit of colour. I'm just using some mica for this. I've chosen a mica called Purple Heart from the Soapery, and I'm just going to mix that in now with my oil and silica mix. Once that's incorporated, I'm going to work on my other phase, phase B. This isn't going to be heated, but it's going to include a couple of important ingredients, one of which is vegetable glycerin, which is a humectant. And I'm adding it in the same kind of proportion as Tara did. I've seen some of her other videos have varying different proportions, so you can have a play around and see what you prefer. And the second ingredient I'm adding to this phase is polysorbate 20. You could possibly add polysorbate 80, but polysorbate 20 is what Tree Hut list in their ingredients list, so we'll try and keep it as close as possible. And this is a solubilizer. It aids rinse off and prevents greasy and coloured clusters of the product in the bath and around the tub. So we're going to mix those two together and you'll see it thickens ever so slightly. And then we'll put that to the side, and I need to grab back my phase A again because I forgot to add the butter. Now I'm using mango butter for mine. This is a soft, lightweight butter that hydrates the skin. It's quite a lot like shea butter, but it's a lot less greasy and more lightweight, so that's why I like using it. So I'm going to put that to the side, and we'll just get our phase C cool down ingredients ready now so that everything is prepared. And I am adding a fragrance oil. I'm actually using a Blackberry Bay fragrance oil from Pure Scented, but you can use any that you like. I just want to go with the purple theme. Then I'm adding phenoxyethanol EHG, which is a broad spectrum preservative, because this will be coming in contact with water and wet hands. And then I'm adding vitamin E, because this is our antioxidant, because we've got some oils and things in there. I like to include it. And I'm just going to mix these up and put it to one side. And while we've got the scale out, we might as well weigh our sugar. Note I've got bowls here purely because I ran out of beakers, and for some reason I like making scrubs in bowls. It just seems to fit better. So I'm using granulated sugar. I've got golden granulated sugar here. You can use whichever you like. And I'm also adding some poppy seeds because they tend to make scrubs look a bit more interesting and you get that extra scrubbing from them. So I've added those, and now we're going to move over to our water bath. Allow the mango butter to melt down, and you'll see the lumps of silica disappear as you do this. It takes a little while but not too long, and you'll have a nice thick smooth gel. Once you're happy that everything's melted and it's all nice and smooth, you can take that off the heat, and we'll just let that cool a little bit before we add our phase B. It's not technically a cool down phase, but I like to not have it too hot, and at the moment it is about 76 degrees. So I'm just going to leave it for a little while, and then we're going to add our polysorbate and glycerin mixture and just mix that in really well so that it's all incorporated. I've kept reasonably close to the measurements that Tara had in her watermelon tree hut scrub, I believe, but you can change these measurements up a little bit if you want it more gelled. You could have less oil, more silica, you could have more butter, you could up the glycerin, you could up the polysorbate 20. So long as you're staying within recommended usage rates and you're calculating things like polysorbate based on the amount of oil in your product and what you want things to do, you can really change the texture whilst keeping a nice gelled product. So have a play around after you've tried out these formulas and use them as a basis to create your own. What I've added now, it's got to below 40 degrees, is my cool down phase, and I'm just making sure that that's mixed in really well. And you can see we've got sort of a nice sort of medium thick gel at the moment. So I'm pretty much ready now to add my exfoliants. So we prepared these earlier, so I'm just going to pour these in and mix it in really well. If you want a firmer scrub, you can use a lot more sugar than I have. I just kind of like this kind of texture, but you can have it however you like. It's personal preference, really. And we're going to then jar it up. There's no pH to take because this is an anhydrous product, and we just need a nice jar to make it look all pretty. I finally managed to find some of these popular square scrub jars online. I will link them below for anyone looking for them in the UK. I finally found some. These are really, really good for scrubs just because of the wide opening at the top. It makes it a bit easier to get your hands in the shower, and they're plastic, so they're not going to smash as well, which is nice. They're recyclable, don't worry. We're just going to fill this. This is a 300 gram batch, and this fills one of these containers really nicely. Now, although tree hut scrubs do appear to contain a little water and they have other water-soluble ingredients in, Tara's product was anhydrous, and I also feel that most DIY formulators prefer anhydrous options, especially if you're in the UK, because using water then comes with expensive challenge testing, etc. So I've stuck with an anhydrous option for you, so there's no need to test the pH, as I said. But if you do want to try and make a version with water, then you can look at my duping videos to see how you go about looking at Tree Hut's ingredients and creating a formula of your own with the water in it. And this is what it's like. It's a really, really beautiful texture, and I'm really happy with it. It's feels really lovely on the skin, and it rinses off really well without any horrible residue, and my skin feels really soft and smooth. You can change up the scent if you like, and the colour, and add more sugar, like I said, if you want a firmer scrub, but I quite like these like this because it is a gel type texture. It's a nice upgrade from just a plain oil and sugar scrub, because the silica just gives it a bit more viscosity and just a bit of a nicer texture, and I like the use of the polysorbate for the rinse off. So I recommend giving this a try. Do go to Tara's channel after you finish watching this and have a look at her other versions as well, because they are really interesting, and this is just generally a really nice scrub recipe if you're a beginner. But please don't forget your respirator, because the silica dimethyl silicate is just the most airborne thing I have ever come across in my life, and you really don't want to breathe it in. So yeah, I hope Tara gets better soon. I hope you like this video. I hope you go and watch hers. Show her some love at the moment. She really needs it. And thanks so much for watching. If you want the formula, obviously she's given formulas on her YouTube, so you can go and get those straight away, and I have the exact formula for my version on my Patreon, along with exclusive videos and all of my other formulas. Thank you so much to everyone that watches me on YouTube, and thank you to all my patrons, including my VIP and mentoring patrons who get a shout out here, and I will see you in the next one.